Hello everybody, this is Maya Zahira with Psychic Protection Sanctuary, and I'm out here at one of my favorite places, Shawnee Mission Park, and so there might be a little bit of noise as people around me are having a fun time on this gorgeous day. In this video, I'd like to talk with you about how psychic attack can work through other people. So getting into kind of a serious subject here. Sometimes with my free videos, I tend to focus on the lighter stuff, just because sometimes people have to warm up to this stuff a little bit. But I decided to go ahead and do this video because I think a lot of people have this happen and they don't understand what's going on. So first of all, just to mention, just so we have some context, just to mention that there are dark beings, there are demonic beings and others who work for the dark forces, the dark agenda, and they can attack a person directly by attaching to their energy field or by attacking them in their sleep and other really unpleasant things, by attaching directly and sucking life force energy, by attaching directly and sending negative thoughts, negative urges, and things like that. That's not what this video is about, though. And so, breathe a sigh of relief. We're going to talk about something a little more human. But just giving it some context, just so you know, that is a direct psychic attack is from an evil entity, is when they're directly hooking into you. But if you keep your energy strong, and you do a lot of practices, spiritual practices, you meditate, you pray, airplane, you meditate, you pray, you get out into nature, you do all sorts of physical well-being activities, self-care, all of that, to keep your physical body, your emotions, your mind, your spiritual energy strong. All of that is fantastic. So if you're doing all of that, then it is a little bit harder for those dark beings to attack you directly. Not saying that never happens, because it does. But the stronger that you keep yourself, then the less likely those things are going to happen. So if you're on the shit list, is what I'm going to call it. If you're on that list, if you're like on their radar, like I was in the past, because I was, doing a lot of beautiful light work and still am, but I was on their radar because I was doing a lot of love-based work that really works against the dark agenda. So just using that as an example that, okay, I was keeping my energy strong, doing all sorts of self-care, and but what they'll do is they'll try to find a back door, okay? So even if you're doing all of this stuff, if you're on their list and they want to take you down, so to speak, they'll find a back door. And one of the back doors is to manipulate the other people in your life who are not as strong as you. So why do they want to do this? So if you are a light worker, if you are if you resonate with that word or not, what I generally mean is if you are really consciously trying to do good things on this planet, helping people heal, helping bring more love into the world, helping bring more truth into the world, then you're working against the dark agenda, right? So, as such, the goal of the dark agenda is to do what they can to try to bring you down, at least a little bit, if not a lot. So if they can't get to you directly by direct psychic attack, then they will work with the people in your life who are not as spiritually strong or emotionally strong or mentally strong. So what that means is they will attach, usually temporarily, but sometimes permanently or long term. They'll attach to different people in your life and influence them. So imagine they're standing next to that person and telling that person things in their ear, or giving that person little internal nudges to create drama and be upset. So give them little nudges to be upset with you and to create drama and to stir things up. This can happen with people who are close in your life, who are, you know, your friends, your business associates, your customers, whatever, co-workers, or it can happen with people in passing. Like one time I was in the middle of experiencing it was not a severe psychic attack, but a moderate psychic attack. They were trying to, it sounds so weird to even talk about this, but I was just starting to get out there and teach about this stuff, and boy, did they try to beat me up. They influenced two different people. One of them was the person who sponsored me to come and teach a workshop at her place, and another one was a yoga teacher that I encountered the next day. And neither of these people are bad people. They're not evil. There's nothing wrong. I don't judge them. But what happened was they were both influenced to act in ways that I don't think they normally act. And the person who hosted me for a workshop did some things that were very, very low integrity. And I really know and believe that they were influenced. They were influenced. They didn't know that they were under the influence, but they were influenced to do some knee-jerk reaction kinds of things that were not love-based and not straightforward kinds of things, not straightforward love-based, but like behind your back, lacking integrity kinds of things. And then right after that happened, then the next day I decided to go to a yoga class, just because I was just feeling really funky and I could just feel all that psychic attack coming my way, and I was trying to clear my energy. And so I decided to really just give my body some self-care. So I went to this yoga class, and I'm told that this yoga studio is usually just wonderful, and that this yoga teacher is usually just wonderful. I was fairly new to the studio, and I had already talked with the yoga teacher about that I would need to make some accommodations because I have some back and some shoulder issues, and she was totally fine with it. But then when we were in the middle of class, she actually stopped and said some things that were very humiliating and very controlling and very inappropriate. Forced me to do certain stretches and wouldn't go on until everybody else did them. And it was just the weirdest thing. Oh my gosh. And actually I quietly got up and left after that. And I talked with the yoga studio owner after that, and she said, I don't know why she did that. That's really out of character for her. She was just having a weird day or something. And I know what happened. She just wasn't aware. And maybe she was having kind of a weird day, and so it was really easy for her, this being, to come in and just influence her to, you know, like verbally attack me, put me on the spot, right? Again, like, I don't harbor any ill will towards anybody. Just giving examples that, you know, this can happen with anybody. So it was just like a yoga studio where I had only been a couple times before, and because I was under attack, some of the people around me started to be influenced to create drama and act out of character, and even they didn't even know why they were acting that way, right? I got and just going on to an example different than myself, there was someone on our Psychic Protection Sanctuary Facebook group who posted a couple weeks back that like everybody in her world was like attacking her. Everybody was just doing all these horrible things and saying all these horrible things. Have you ever been through little phases like that? I have. Last month it seemed like there were about 2 weeks where it's like everybody was just being a jerk, you know. Like everybody, I'd get emails from people like demanding things and just like whatever. So this person, like everybody in her world was attacking her and accusing her of being a horrible person, even though she's a wonderful person. And she was so confused and hurt by this. Well, what was happening was she was experiencing a secondary psychic attack, or an indirect psychic attack through other people. So this is someone who, the person who posted the message is someone who has a very loving vibration. And so, well, the dark forces, let's just take her down how we can. Okay. Now it's not that, that's not to say that we'll be under attacks like that all the time, but every once in a while, if you notice like all of a sudden there's a bunch of crazy people in your world acting very out of character, or maybe they usually act this way and suddenly they've come into your world, but they're a lot of times it's people who are just really acting very unreasonable and out of character and different than how they normally would. And it seems like all of a sudden your world is bombarded with that. Raise your hand if you've ever had a period where you're like, WTF, what is going on? Everybody is crazy right now. And it's directed towards you. That's because they're being influenced. Okay, so it's actually a psychic attack towards you through the dark forces. And you're not powerless, actually. One of the things that has been so helpful to me, one of the things that was so helpful to me in the beginning when I first started to learn about this, was just understanding what's happening helps to take a lot of charge out of the situation. So once you go, oh, I know what's happening, it's just, okay, it's just, so then, because being the nice people that we are, we're going to be trying to like figure out what did we do wrong, or why are these people freaking out, or what's happening? Is there something that we can say or do differently to make these people not be acting crazy? And usually there's nothing you can say or do. But the idea, the psychic attack is all about getting you upset, getting you charged up in a negative way, big truck, getting you charged up in a negative way, and getting you pulled into the drama so that you're not focused in love. Okay? So as soon as you recognize, oh, I see what's happening, it's that thing, it's that psychic attack thing that influences people, and it's just trying to get me stirred up, and now that I see what's happening, that gives me some perspective. Okay, so if you ever have this happen, a big way to just take the power out of it is to recognize it for what it is. Sometimes you will have to make some interpersonal changes where you'll have to limit contact with certain people if they're being influenced to act kind of cray-cray, and that's okay. So if you're under this kind of attack, you can limit contact with certain people, or cut off contact if you need to, if they're acting this way all the time. You can also then focus on the people who are in a space of love, focus on your positive support system, focus on getting out in nature, focus on taking good care of yourself, getting plenty of rest. Remember to not get sucked into the drama, because it's all part of the psychic attack that's intended to pull you off of your divine life purpose. Okay, so let that drama go, see it for what it is. and focus again on your divine life purpose. So if you ever have any issues like this, I have a really fabulous free Facebook group where we get to share and support each other. And I welcome you to join that group. It's Psychic Protection Sanctuary. And you can just type that into the search bar on Facebook and you will find it. And I also have a website where you can find some of my paid programs, and you can also schedule a private session with me if that's what you're wanting. And it's www.mayazahira.com. That's my name. M as in Mary, A-Y-A, Z as in zebra, A-H-I-R-A. Everybody be well, be empowered. Much love to you. Bye. Till next time.